Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. Joining me is Nighttime Moose at Night.
Moose at night, moose in bed, yeah.
Moosehead at night. Moosehead at night. Oh.
Nice.
Thank you. So, we have a lot to talk about today. And
Oh, you could talk. I'll listen because I'm just gonna. I might nod off.
You're zoning out there, man.
Yeah, I am. I'm tired.
Yeah, aren't we all? I'll tell you
I'm
one
tired of
thing.
everything.
What I'm really tired of is this whole Myles Garrett thing. I wanted
That's
to.
still going on. We got Cavs trades to talk about and shit.
I know, but
I'll let you get on.
Yeah, it amazes me that people react the way they react to things, and it's I don't have a horse in the race, but quite honestly, when I talk about equality, it isn't a political word. Equality is just a word, and every life is equal when it starts, and equality is important to me.
Yeah,
and
good.
The great line that comes back over and over on this program is, when I call it a team, you call it a business. When you call it a business,
I call it a team.
it's always the same thing. It's the game of twist the reality.
Yeah,
Myles Garrett has spent 8 years in Cleveland. All right.
He did. It's a long time to be in Cleveland. God damn it.
And went through the horrible early days. The reason they got him, as far as a draft pick was concerned, because they were losing. And on top of that, he lived through little bits of success that ended prematurely because the team really wasn't very good, and they never had a proper quarterback, and they had a great running back. They had a great offensive line. They had a midget quarterback who got passes, blocked, and who took on
predictably blocked.
Took on defensive men himself, got himself injured, and the team went to hell. And then the coaching, the total, just one offensive coordinator. This guy calls plays. No, this guy calls the plays. No. And the years that he's been in Cleveland, he went to the team and said, I think that if I am going to stay here, I got to have at least some kind of understanding of what the plan is to take the next step forward. And obviously he got either what he wanted or he didn't want. And he politely asked the team to trade him through, posting on social media. And then he went on. The thing that's pissed off fans is he went on a media blitz that basically showed the Cleveland Browns that he was dead serious about this.
Okay, did he go on programs? I don't know about this.
Yes.
What did he do?
Oh, yeah. He was all over the internet, and he was in Philadelphia, and he was pitching his services to multiple teams.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cleveland fans got upset and said, fuck this guy. All right. And I want to remind people that fans are fans. You're not managing the team. You are not on the team. You are not performing on the field. You have no way of knowing how it feels physically, mentally, to be a football player whose body gets racked in so many ways. You have no idea of the psychology of being an athlete and trying to find your highest level, knowing that you only have a short amount of time to be able to accomplish the goal. You have no idea of what it is playing a game that will almost definitely shorten your life.
Yep.
All right. So, with that in mind, the people were getting upset with Myles Garrett because he was so assertive going on other teams' social media and media outlets and pitching his services and just plowing like he plows through offensive linemen to get what he
Okay.
wants.
Yeah, I didn't know he'd done that. Okay.
Right. So here's the truth. Myles Garrett is contractualized through next
Yep.
year. He becomes a free agent in 2027. All right. But he
Okay.
wants to get a head start.
Yeah.
And the Browns are taking the approach, no, we're not going to trade you. All right. So we have, two heads.
A dead year of Myles Garrett when he has to suffer through a 4-win or less team for
Yeah,
no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I would imagine that that's what it's heading toward. But it didn't have to. And the fans will be saying things of this nature. They're saying, well, he's bound and contractualized to play for the Browns.
Yeah, that
And-
works. Tell
and
that to an employee.
I have an answer for that. Jimmy
Oh,
Haslam
God.
is bound to the city of Cleveland contractually, and it hasn't stopped him about moving the team to Brook Park. But you don't say dick about that. You know why?
Why? Why don't people say dick about that?
Because they don't understand the concept of equality.
Okay.
They're beaten before they begin. Myles Garrett has every right to assert who he works for, and the Cleveland Browns have every right to try to do things that are in the best interests of the owner's pocketbook. I get it. But you can't go one way for one person and another way for another person. It's either equal one way or the other. You can't say it's a team and then say, no, it's a business. No, it's a team. No, it's, you're letting down the fans. I don't understand that either. You're going to spend your money to watch this shit fuck organization lose and lose and lose.
And lose some more. It's just amazing.
It's amazing to me.
It's amazing to me too.
And you just are protecting a thief. A guy who's moving the revenue from the city of Cleveland to an external area so that he can get wealthier than he already is. But at the same time, when Myles Garrett wants to not talk about money, but winning a championship, oh, you're all against that now. You have no concept of equality. And the world that we live in is bad enough as it is without people being bamboozled and just spitting out garbage. And that's what Twitter's become, is a bunch of fans, not all of them, but a bunch of fans spewing out all kinds of stupidity.
Wow. Yeah, I don't need to repeat what I think about Twitter, but one thing I would like to bring up about in all this, now that you've brought it to my attention, is that Jim fucking Brown, remember him? Jim fucking Brown? Yeah. He left Cleveland too. He left Cleveland after about 8 years, and in 1965, and he couldn't get an agreement with the fucking owner, who was Art fucking Modell, and he decided to be in Hollywood. I mean, Myles Garrett might as well not play football and get a career. He can get a career in TV. He's personable, intelligent. He can, he can do whatever he fucking wants, man. Good luck to him.
Life is to win a Super Bowl. Now, I don't see how anyone can be faulted for that. And he spent 8 years giving the organization a chance. But you see, When I say it's a team, you say it's a business, and that's what the Browns are doing. The Browns are saying, well, you're
It's a team.
contractualized and you
Yeah.
can't do that. All right. However, when it's the fans voicing things off, and then the team now is using its voice in the media, Mary Kay Cabbage cunt, in order to badmouth Myles Garrett, this is the thing that really pisses me off more than anything, because now we're not a business, we're a team. And oh, he's letting all of his teammates down, yada, yada, yada. And it can't go both ways. Mary Kay Cabbage Head.
Oh, what has she done now? Tell me. I don't know.
It's just asinine. The headlines are always these. I didn't even include it in my prep, actually, but let me.
You don't have to. I mean, she's just a shit stir. We all know that. So.
Oh, headline: Myles Garrett, days after he asked the Browns to trade him, fails to repeat as Defensive Player of the Year. Mary Kay Cabot. You know.
Well, who won anyway? I don't even know who won that. Who won that?
I don't even know. I didn't gamble on it.
All I saw was fucking Bill Belichick and his fucking granddaughter girlfriend. You know, that's the only thing I saw from the other night.
Oh yeah, well, he likes him young, and you know, it's.
He was a lot happier than he left Cleveland too. He left Cleveland too, and look what happened to him. He got 6 Super Bowl rings and a fucking hot girlfriend, and he's like 70 years old. So there you go.
Yeah, and Greg, yeah, and then the same cannot be said about Myles Garrett. And he gives his blood, his sweat, and his tears for the team, but we're a business. But when he becomes a business, we're a team. And Jimmy Haslam is disgusting. And there's a lot of stuff that disgusts me. You know, I'm reading all the headlines about, the wasteful spending of government, and here Mr. Trump is going to get it all changed for America. All right. But one of the things that he signs is to spend a bunch of money to form a group to study anti-Christian bias. Now, for God's sake. I mean, it's just shifting the poorly spent money from one side of the left to the other side of the right. And they're just wasting all of our tax money. And meanwhile, the rich fuckers who are doing this don't pay any income tax at all. Because we're a business, we're not a team. But in order to get elected, we're a team, not a business. Once we get in office, we're a business, not a team. It's everything. It's every fucking thing in this country right now. It's fucked up. You know, and the fans just have to shut the fuck up and let it play out. You don't want a player who isn't going to help you. And Myles Garrett's not going to help you. The team is so bad that the Browns organization has destroyed this franchise. You have no quarterback. You have no running backs. Your offensive line is old and decrepit. You have no football team. You're going right back into the times of Hugh Jackson.
Oh, yeah. We'll be lucky to get 4 wins next year.
And I don't understand the whole notion of why in God's name Myles Garrett should be forced to play in a situation where they're just going to lose game after game after game. That's no way of saying thank you to the from the organization of the player. That's for sure.
So I make a prediction about that. If he doesn't get traded, he's going to sit out the whole year.
Well, I hope he does.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
I wouldn't waste my health on this. The team.
That's exactly what he'll do.
It's in the best interest of Jimmy Haslam to trade him. so he
Yeah,
can
I don't
get
see
more
why he
pieces.
doesn't get that.
Well, but
You
the
know?
reason he doesn't get it is because he's a loser, and he always will be. And we'll be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers know how to add pieces when they're winning. This guy doesn't understand how to add pieces when he's losing. It's
Correct.
just unreal.
Said
Just
Tony the
absolute.
Calf on there.
Yeah. Tony, are you there? There he is.
Tony. Where?
The man?
Yeah, we're
The
all
myth?
on camera today. Damn.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Put yourself on camera, Tony.
All right.
There he is.
He's a sexy fella, isn't he?
Yeah. Where did you get the little pencil that draws that in?
Maybelline.
Walmart.
We borrowed it from J.D. Vance.
Why don't you get a little hat and go, I am the Frito Bandito.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal.
It's good.
Yeah,
Let's have him on the show more often.
And Jeffrey wants to talk more substance, which is really important. Patrick Surtain won. Thank you very, very much, Rick. And Myles finished third. That is correct. I can see why Myles Garrett wants out. I'm just trying to figure out the way we can get players back, some draft picks, and maybe a quarterback for him. And that's the way I'm looking at it too. And that's the way any business person,
any normal person should look at it. Yeah.
The Browns fucked up. They went the wrong direction. They destroyed their own team. The owner screwed up again. And now the only thing is, what can I do to try to make this better? And if I have a valuable asset that I can get draft picks for, assuming that, they always draft the wrong people anyway, but this is Daniel Snyder shit. As long as Jimmy Haslam's here, the team's going to lose. I know it. You know it. Every fan knows it. But the fans like self-flagellation. They like to be beaten. They like Jimmy Haslam in a rubber suit whipping them. That's what the fans like because it's a business. Yeah, sucking money out of your pockets is Jimmy's business. Good God.
Sorry, I don't mean to yawn. I'm just yawning. It's not your content.
I swear to God, if Jimmy Haslam were a guest on this show, he wouldn't last for 2 minutes.
Who would get thrown off of YouTube? There'd be so many.
Oh, the bottom line is I would just go circles around him. He's a dummy. He's a dummy. He's a failure in his business, in a business that you cannot fail in financially. It's proven. I mean, Daniel Snyder got richer and richer and richer. And they got worse and worse and worse. And his behavior became more erratic and irresponsible. And he kept making more money. You can't get rid of Jimmy Haslam unless the NFL itself does it.
Unless they find something, yeah.
And the minute Washington Snyder sells the team, they get a franchise quarterback and make it to the NFC fucking championship.
In like 1 year.
Literally 1 year.
But I mean, stop and look at the NFL, despite all the fans saying it's all fixed for the Kansas City Chiefs. There are so many bad to middling teams in the NFL that, a team like the Commanders could come up and do what they did. And that's good for the league. That's really good for the league. Getting rid of a guy like Daniel Snyder and exterminating him from football is a good idea. And getting rid of Jimmy Haslam out of the NFL, if you want the Cleveland franchise to be viable, I don't mean to give us gifts, but if you want the franchise to be viable, you get him out. You exterminate him, just like a pest, just like a termite.
Yeah.
But again, and then you have.
I'm still waiting for Haslam's the dog pound. When's that going to happen? He said that 14 years ago.
He's a flim flam man, for God's sakes. Yeah. And that's, and again, you need to pick a quarterback, but you can't play him right out of the chute because he's got no O-line in front of him.
Oh, he'd get killed.
He's got to learn.
He'd get killed.
They hired an old quarterback coach to try to Musgrave. Is that Musgrove? Is that his name?
Bill
You know,
Musgrave.
they hired him, and so that's for tutelage for a young guy they're going to draft. You know, Geno Smith. Geno Smith is Jacoby Brissett is you know, they're quarterbacks who will take money to go to losing teams and lose is what it amounts to. And Kevin Stefanski will have a big say in who the starting quarterback will be, and you can bet your ass it's going to be a guy who's you know, just like what we've had in the past.
Has no personality whatsoever, and will just dink and dunk, and
dink and dunk. That's exactly right. An underpowered arm who will dink and dunk, always throw underneath. We won't score many points, and that'll be just the way it is, and we'll lose. We already know that that's what's going to happen.
Sam Darnold, come on down.
Well, Darnold, would make too many mistakes. He would make too many mistakes. You see, he wants a guy. Stefanski wants a guy where keeping possession of the ball is more important than scoring points. You know, it's like get first downs, and I don't care if you do it 3-4 yards in the air at a time, but don't be throwing that ball down the field and turning it over. You know, don't fumble in the pocket. Get rid of the ball fast. It's like, and I'll put 3 tight ends on the field for you. You know, that's what you're going to get.
Which totally makes me wonder why in the hell they even brought back Jameis Winston or kept Jameis Winston and didn't just fucking keep Snoop Huntley or whatever the fuck his name is.
Snoop.
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dog.
No.
You know. Yeah, I mean, and that's really what you're looking at is he's going to ride herd on the quarterback, and you know what kind of guy he's going to get. So, and you know, and people will, you know, at least if you're thinking in terms of what assets you can get for Myles Garrett, then you're thinking correctly. But if you're sitting there saying, well, you know, and you're going to do the heartbroken teenager who just got rebuffed by their boyfriend / girlfriend, you know, you know, he turned on us. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to spend more money in the stadium and watch him lose just because of Myles Garrett. You know, it's like, fuck him.
All right, let's talk Cavs. Fuck this losing.
That's enough.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I said what I wanted to say about that, but you know, you loved Myles Garrett for 8 years, and you turn on him now. You're all pieces of shit for doing it. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'll totally agree with that.
Well, my analysis was actually right, Ron, which is unusual for a cow. And you know, if you follow my Twitter feed at all, you know that. The biggest problem that I had with the Cavaliers were 2 things. That the way Karis LeVert was being utilized, that he was a primary ball handler at times, and he's not a secure ball handler because he's long-armed, he dribbles the ball too high, and he starts doing what I call Daffy ducking. He's just, you know, stomping all over the place and getting the ball ripped away from him or dribbling out the shot clock. The other one was George Niang. And I get the fact that he's a popular guy, you know?
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Leave him alone.
Well, I mean, he's a good team player. Let you know.
Yeah, he's a team, not a business.
He's a locker room guy, and which is all well and good, you know. I love it when I just do the transition from Browns to Cavaliers. All the viewers go away, and again, it's proof that you're losers. Right? We're winners here. We want to talk about the team that's winning.
I want to talk about the Cavs. I didn't even want to talk about Myles Garrett at the slightest.
You know, I was looking at Karis LeVert the last one. You know, he was hurt, and how long he was out. And I knew they were shopping him. And then when he did come back and play, he was shite.
He was like 0 for 20 the past 3.
Terrible.
Oh, he was terrible.
Yeah, the word leaks, and you know how
He,
that goes.
he was
And
trying to lower his trade value, I think, because he'd go up for these layups, but his arm would be out of position, and the ball would bounce like 5 feet away on the backboard from where it should have been. It was just unbelievable what he was doing. So,
again, and you
Yeah.
don't want Niang handling the ball either. And the big problem for the
Not really.
Cavaliers during this whole period of transition is that, from the Cavs' perspective, they've got what they need on the bench, and Ty Jerome has proven that he is a more than responsible ball handler, and that CPJ can come off the bench.
Yeah,
And
on a bad team, see, the Porter can play against a bad team. You put him against the Celtics, he gets his ass ripped. But you put him against some shit team, he's good.
well, you
Yeah.
know, he's played well. CPJ has played well in the moments that he's gotten to play. He is undersized. He has great jumping ability, but he's still green. He's still,
Yeah.
he would be very similar to what Ty Jerome was coming out of Virginia.
Yeah, 4 years ago or whatever.
A guy who knew how to win, had a winning attitude, national championship credibility, but maybe took a while to learn how to use his skill set in the NBA because he wasn't a typical NBA player. And that is right, Jason. I mean, Ty Jerome will be the bridge that brings DeAndre Hunter into the locker room, which is kind of a cool thing as well. What I can tell you is it was a very smart move by the Cavaliers.
Oh God, yeah, they saved money too. They saved like 2-3 million.
And yeah, I understand that Karis LeVert, when he came into the league, was drafted by Indiana, never played at first in Indiana. Instead, he went to Brooklyn and had to go through the real shit situation with the Ruski owner and the team falling flat, meaningless games. He got then moved for 1 year to Indiana, who gave him a shot out there. Then the Cavaliers came in, and he watched this team get into the playoffs. And he didn't get along with, nor did his agent get along with JB Bickerstaff. And, and now that the team is really on its best footing, he has to go. And you feel bad about it, but it is a business. But it's a business for both. I mean, it isn't like Karis LeVert's going to starve.
No.
That they were talking about, his availability next year as free agent. There was no guarantee he was going to stay with Cleveland.
Correct.
And the fact of the matter is, they were talking about $18 million a year earlier in the year as a free agent. That's what he would command. So
wow.
It is unfortunate that he's probably going to go to another bottom tier team, but he's going to be making real money. And we've talked about Larry Nance Jr., who is a great guy and has moved a lot and had a long NBA career. He's made in the range of $160 million in his basketball career. So you can say, well, he never won a championship, but you know something? Every player wants to have that moment in the sun, and you can't blame them. But basketball's been very, very good to Larry Nance Jr. and to Karis LeVert and to a lot of the players who move around. And, and George Niang, I thought he could get into better shape. I've never, he's a set shooter. He really has trouble creating any real offense unless somebody lunges at him and he kind of G-wagons his way down, the lane, and he could use the backboard and get the ball in that way. But those players became expendable because of Ty Jerome, who is proving that he can run the offense and he can score points. And he can do it not by throwing up threes, but getting into the paint and being real tricky, playing a below the rim kind of game. And CPJ can come in for that little spark sometimes to get you a slam dunk or to hit a couple of shots and just to make some things happen with his athleticism. And that's great. Those two players, and then when you have DeAndre Hunter coming in, the thing that those two players couldn't do, LeVert's not a rebounder and Niang's not a rebounder. And when we saw these people on the floor together, we were getting manhandled on the boards, giving up second and third chance opportunities.
Oh, yeah. If we very briefly, we could talk that Celtics game. We got absolutely ass raped by their bench. And that was our second unit playing against them. And if you look the stats, Horford and the Sampson and whatever the other guy, the Hauser and Doogie Hauser, they were like plus 20s, the whole lot of them, and that's how we lost that game. People, and we had that bad first quarter. But the person that's impressed me lately is Strus. Strus has played really hard. He hasn't scored a lot of points, but he's been like sacrificing his life.
Yes. And the thing about Max Strus is every team needs an extra effort player. And the thing is, he could be hot as a pistol or just stone cold, but he never stops running.
He got chucked into the camera bay the other night, didn't he? He came out and he was like fighting. So
yeah. Well, and going after loose balls, diving on the floor, back cutting, constantly in motion. I mean, he's a guy that you would hold on to because he does give you the stretch situation. He's not a rebounder. He's not a ball handler either, which is why it's important that these two other guards that I talked about that we have asserted themselves more, because Max Strus can be Max Strus, but you can't carry three guys who are really
like that, who do the same thing,
or just don't handle the ball well and are being asked to handle the ball in situations. So I'm getting another question here from Jeffrey asking about Jarrett Allen coming off the bench. That's not going to happen. I think it would be more likely in my mind.
Oh no, that's
that Hunter has had a 6-man role, and he might well start that way because he's not going to know what to do in this scheme, and he's going to have to learn his way in. But I think eventually it's very well possible that Hunter will be in the starting lineup. But again, the Cavs have been after this guy for 6 years. I mean, he's been on the radar for a long time. And it isn't that his numbers are like totally eye-popping. The only negative on DeAndre Hunter is that he gets hurt. And that could kind of be distressing to fans. But the same thing's true of Karis LeVert. He gets hurt a lot too.
He gets hurt a lot too, yeah. And Dean Wade gets hurt a lot. And oh, God, yeah.
But I don't know that the way we use our rotations, it isn't who starts. It's more or less who finishes.
Yeah, and who's having a good game, because it seems like one of our big four seems to pick a night to not have the greatest game in the world. Like one night it could be Mobley, who doesn't do well, another night it could be Mitchell, who doesn't do well, another night it could be Garland, gets hit in the head 5 times, doesn't do all that well. You never know who that guy's going to be.
Great luxury, and you see how good our bench can be when we play teams that are 500 teams and they hang with us. And then once the bench comes in,
they die.
I mean, they fall behind. And then there's the inevitable avalanche. And, and again, as bad as this team played against the Celtics and the last time they played, the Celtics still were in a position that game could have been a 1-possession game with 25 seconds left. The Celtics went on yesterday, to get blown out by a Dallas Mavericks team that did not have Luka any longer.
And the one that we put up 90 points against.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
for all the people saying, well, when it really matters, the Celtics, and it's like, well,
no,
it doesn't work that way. Because if you're bad enough to lose to a Luka-less team that didn't even have Anthony Davis, all they had was Kyrie Irving and a bunch of nobodies, and you got blown out. And at the end, it was a 7-point loss because they just cleared their bench, and that was the end of that. But they were down for 20 plus points for most of the game. So again, having 10 men who can really help. I don't mean just to eat time, but I mean can actually produce when they're on the floor.
We've never seen this before. We've never had that before.
And Captain Fierce is saying, surprise, we're in the sweepstakes for Ben Simmons. I don't know if I'd call it a sweepstakes. Ben Simmons is a big question mark, and
he's an enigma.
Yeah, he
That's
is.
A good word.
And there's no doubt that he is damaged goods. But here's, online, Matt Perry's been pimping Ben Simmons. And at first I'm like, no, you don't need a mentally unstable guy, in the locker room. We don't really, the guy is positively laconic, SAT word. And, I'm not sure that we want a guy who's just afraid to shoot the ball and has that kind of a mental block. And then he started explaining himself. We were exchanging messages, and I can understand where he's coming from. If Ben Simmons, and I'm not saying this is me, this is Mac talking, and if he gives you 12 to 14 minutes on the floor and gives you a presence at 6'11" and a wingspan that he's got some of the quickness still at 28 years of age, and he can get a hand up on shooting forwards and alter shots in the lane. And when he gets the ball down on the post, he's not going to shoot, but he's a really good passer. You can't compare that with old washed up Tristan Thompson.
Correct.
Who can't shoot either.
Anybody would be better than Tristan Thompson. Yeah. If you're going to put him against Thompson, Simmons all day.
Well, Braun would be better than Thompson.
But
I could be a big presence in the post.
That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about major minutes. But when you saw that when Tristan Thompson hit the floor, he was trying hard. And I'm not saying anything bad about Tristan, doing the best he could. But he doesn't have the hops. He doesn't have the wingspan. He's only 6'7". And he used to be able to use a quick first and second jump. He doesn't have that anymore. He can't shoot free throws more than 25 to 30%. And they will foul him the second he comes in the game. People are upset that Ben Simmons can't shoot free throws, but I would rather have a 28-year-old, 6'11" guy who averages 7 to 8 assists over the course of the last several years of his career.
That's damn good.
And rebounds the ball at about 8 boards in 28 minutes of play. Yeah. I would rather have that guy and put him on the floor when you need it the most, and that's in a defensive situation where you need stops and to get rebounds, so that you're not getting pushed around, so that you're able to get rebounds, and you have towers in the game. No matter who's on the bench, you got height and some with Mobley, and then if you had Simmons, you have shot alterers. And you wouldn't see like what the Celtics were doing and trying to get those little shots to the paint or backing down people,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
and then whipping the ball out and shooting threes,
yeah.
or letting Brown get into the paint and
Brown in the paint. Yeah,
inside the free throw line. You're not going to get that if somebody's there to make sure he isn't going to do it. So again, it's a risk, but it's not a risk that's going to kill the Cleveland Cavaliers. If he plays his way off the team, Ben Simmons plays his way off the team, and he'll be a free agent. We'll never have to hear from him again. If he does his job, then it's a plus from Tristan Thompson. So if you look at it that way, it does fill a need. And thanks, Mac, for at least turning my head around, because when I see the name Ben Simmons, it's underachiever. And I think everybody's a bit like that. They feel that way.
Yeah, we're all like that. I speak for Kath on that one too.
Yeah,
we're all like that.
Oh, we got the old Wizards tonight.
What? We're playing the Baltimore Bullets tonight, so yeah, let's
they
go.
Traded him.
I don't understand how Wes Unseld is going to make it onto the floor because he's dead.
He's dead. Hey, Earl. You know what was great? What was there was a Knick game I was watching, and I for the life of me, I can't remember who they were playing, but they still have Walt Clyde Frazier doing the color commentary, and he is like having the legitimate Huggy Bear still alive. The guy's like 80 years old, and he still dresses up like Huggy Bear. It's just amazing. You got to check out a Knick game on Field Pass or whatever.
A good comment from Jason here that Hunter is going to open up lanes for Mitchell and Garland. And the thing that I like about Darius Garland is that he's shooting that pull-up now. He isn't just driving it into the paint and getting himself whacked.
How many times has he been hitting the head, though, the past 2 weeks? Jesus.
Doing it intentionally, and the referees are not calling it. And, I wanted to point, you're pointing me in a direction that I wanted to go. The last game against the Pistons,
God.
was a second verse, same as the first scenario, in which, JB decided that he was going to have his players go out and slap and foul the Cavaliers and not get called for it. And because he knows that his rancid team could get away with that. Cade, I'm going to shoot 25 times a night, and maybe I'll make 35% of them. Cunningham, and a group of players like Beef Stewart and
Beef Stewart.
Just a bunch of people who just don't have a real physical skill set. And it comes down to finally Jared Allen saying enough is enough, and just nailed that guy, just nailed him. But the story that isn't getting told about, because again, why? You're up by 8 points at that time. Why would you do that and get them with the clock stopped to get multiple free throws?
Well, I'll tell you what I saw, because I was my thing had the Detroit feed, and they showed like 10 seconds prior to that, whoever got smashed, and I can't remember, smashed into Allen before that, and this was just a retaliation. Now, I don't know whether you got the film clip of all that or can explain it better, but
what Jared Allen told the coach, because the coach wasn't real happy about the timing of the whole thing, and Kenny wouldn't be happy about that, but what Jared Allen told him was the guy slapped him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, literally slapped him.
That was on Detroit TV. They showed it at the time.
So we didn't see it on the Cleveland broadcast, but he slapped him. And I think Jared Allen has been fouled so many times and has been accused of being soft that he just said, fuck it.
He just, fuck it. Yeah. Right. I'm 100% behind that. I don't care that Cade Cunningham had about 90 free throws in 1 minute. That had to be done, man.
Well, again, so the game comes down to what it should never have come down to, And you should never be fouling and putting your arms go in a downward motion when a guy's trying to shoot a three and, a desperation heave, and you let him go to the free throw line all that many times. But let me point something out. And it is clearly the difference about the Cleveland Cavaliers this year and last year, and a lot of the same faces, but thank God JB Bickerstaff is gone.
Yeah.
JB Bickerstaff is a coach who can coach guys to play hard and play defense with an old, outdated offensive scheme, but he single-handedly lost the game for the Pistons. And everybody was so stunned at the turn of events that, oh my God, all these free throws, and now suddenly they've tied the game, and it's like at 1:15. It's like, holy shit. And now it's going to go into overtime, and we're playing a back-to-back, and we're going to be exhausted. Not going to have a prayer.
I wasn't worried, but I could imagine a lot of people were. I thought we were always going to win that game.
We could have dropped dead if we would have had to have played an overtime. So the way it goes is he hits the free throw, right?
Yep.
All right. If you prepare your team the way you're supposed to, instead of the bald-headed fuck Bickerstaff, who doesn't know how to draw an inbounds play, nor does he know how to defend
one. Yeah.
The ball goes through the hoop when Cade Cunningham hits the free throw, and Darius Garland takes the ball out. Okay?
Yeah.
Now stop and use your brain.
Follow.
Nobody is even really pressing him on an inbounds, okay?
Not at all.
And the first thing he does is he throws it to Niang. At that point, you drop back. Let the fat man dribble the ball up the court and waste the final 5 seconds, and that's it. Instead,
that's it. Overtime, yeah.
They forget that Garland even exists. Niang throws it back to Garland. He gets it over the midcourt line and fires in the game winner. That's just bad coaching. Plain and simple. I mean, that's watching your team have a chance to win this game, and you just swept it away from them by making the dumbest.
By not preparing him. I think he still had a timeout. He could have called timeout and prepared his guys for that. But, dude, John Madden describing that. Where is he? He's getting the ball.
Oh, John Madden describing the final inbound?
Yeah.
What do you think? Garland's over here and he's out of bounds. He can't do any damage if he's out of bounds. It's just that simple. And he's got to throw the ball in, and the biggest target's the fat guy who can't dribble. So he throws the ball to the fat guy who can't dribble. He bounces, and he says, no, I can't dribble because I'm the fat guy who can't dribble. And he just says, yeah. And he throws the ball back to Garland, but nobody's guarding Garland. And so Garland takes one guy, and he goes this way, and then he goes that way, and then he goes over the midcourt line, and he just heaves it up. Nothing but net.
Boom.
Boom. The look on who is the center for the Pistons? He was the tall guy who was in the game.
Not Duran. Was it Duran?
It wasn't Stewart. It was the other guy.
Jalen Duran.
Jalen Duran, yeah.
The look on Duran's face
was like,
it's like, you feel bad for Karis LeVert leaving Cleveland? I'm here. I'm stuck in Detroit with JB Bickerstaff.
No.
Unbelievable. It's inconceivable that you could have had an overtime. The second that ball was in Niang's hands, all you had to do was two things. Is once Garland threw the ball in, you should have had a man come up face to face to Garland so that he couldn't get the ball back. And just have a man this far away from Niang saying, I'll roll out the carpet. You can dribble it up to midcourt. You're never going to make it there, fat boy. And that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Unreal. he chose the one way to fuck it up. And that's JB Bickerstaff in a nutshell.
Wow.
He finds a way to fuck it up. He did against the Knicks.
Wow.
Unreal. But going back to Jason Arrington, yes, Hunter can shoot the perimeter shot and has to be accounted for when he's on the floor. He's 6'8" with a 7'2" reach. So he can shoot the ball over people. He has a fadeaway. He also has the corner three and the wing three. And it should help this offense tremendously. And we got to take some pressure off Donovan because he's been pressing. And it's great seeing Garland being able to take over the heavy lifting, because that more than anything else, to be able to win the way we won without Mitchell on the floor all game, that really says something.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I always thought we were going to win that. I don't know, man. Always thought. But anyway.
Yeah, and but Middleton has been hurt. I mean,
he's old too. He's like
two ankle procedures. He's never going to be what he was. I mean, you want to talk about Lonzo Ball having orthopedic problems? Middleton with his ankle. Washington was just like doing what they always do. They're having a garage sale.
So who's playing tonight against the Bullets? Who do we got playing?
Normal starting
probable Donovan Mitchell is probable, but we don't know, at least not up to this point. I haven't heard a definitive. And Sam Merrill is out for personal reasons.
Oh God!
And so Okoro is still out, and so is Wade. So, and of course, DeAndre Hunter won't be playing because things have to go through league protocol. But don't feel bad. Don't feel too bad, because I'm looking at Washington, and here's Marcus Smart, recently traded, is ruled out. Alex Len, their center, out. Malcolm Brogdon is day-to-day with a foot, and I don't know what that story is. Cody Jones is out for Friday's game against the Cavaliers. Chris Middleton out, and AJ Johnson out. So
is Alex Sarr. And
Alex Sarr is the other one who's out. You're right. Their center. So, I mean, you tell me. I'm looking at their roster.
Jordan Poole, Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, Corey Kispert, and Rashawn Holmes are the projected starting five.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lovely.
With something called Tristan Vukasevic. What the fuck?
Wow.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
Bob Carrington. Who are these fucking people?
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. So I'm looking at the Cavaliers now, and of course,
the Cavs don't win by 30 tonight. Something's wrong, man.
I just want them to win. I don't care how much they win by. I just want them to win.
But they lose, something's really wrong.
Jeffrey, I'm beginning to wonder your sanity. If you wanted Lonzo Ball.
Wow. Yeah, he was making smart comments. Now he's put that up, so can't be 100%.
I had to take that off.
It was hurting the screen.
God damn, Lonzo Ball.
So
I mean, I'm happy with the trade. I think all Cavaliers fans are happy with the trade, and I'm good to go for Ben Simmons. Let's go for it, because we need extra height. We need.
What's the latest on that? Because I'm obviously not tapped into this shit pipe of.
He was interviewing with the Cavs and Clippers.
That's the and we'll discover whether he wants warm weather or wants to win. All right.
And just be thankful, Cleveland, you didn't go ahead and give Jimmy fucking Butler $60 million.
Oh God!
Oh man,
he's awful.
Somebody had to.
What is Golden State doing?
Well, they're bailing out Miami. The NBA was so good for so long to the Warriors. They're returning a favor. I mean,
I think you're right there.
Miami Heat are always the recipients of help. Always.
Yeah.
It's just a favored franchise in the NBA.
They have no
Yeah.
fan base. I was watching their feed the other night. You know,
Oh,
it was Miami Vice night, and they've got no fucking fan base. It's just amazing.
Miami Vice night.
Yeah. They had this special shirt that was all pink pastels and aqua green pastels that you could
Did they start
buy.
like
Let's
Don
bring back
Johnson at
the
Mark
spirit
Yeah, they
of,
did. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah.
we're going to bring back the spirit of Don Johnson. Hey,
Yeah.
pal. Hey, pal. God. Crockett and Tubbs.
Crockett and Tubbs, yeah.
Please make that shit stop.
Oh,
If you ever want to just getting drunk and watching reruns of Miami Vice from the 80s,
wow.
all the
Yeah.
women are wearing shoulder pads and they look like
The shoulder
linebackers.
pads and that.
Yeah, and then all of the pastel colors.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
and
well,
then
that's
you
what this
had,
jersey was. It was wild.
and the thing I loved most about that show is that when Crockett and Tubbs would go undercover, they were always the same two guys.
Yeah.
And with Tubbs always having this bad Jamaican accent. You got to love that show. I mean, if you're drunk and you can find reruns of Miami Vice, do it, because you'll just be on the floor laughing. Howard
Well-
Twilley, a wide receiver from the Dolphins, is dead at 81.
Oh, God, yeah, I remember him. He was an old AFL guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I remember more than Snoop Dogg remembers about the NFL, goddammit.
And the National Football Foundation announced that he died Wednesday, but of course did not provide a cause of death. That's the end of that
CTE.
story. Yeah, that's Here's another one for you. Ireland to host Steelers.
Yeah,
First
I
ever
know.
Steelers
That
season.
is fucked up. Ireland. Oh, God. They've had Boston College over for football games at Krug Park before, but yeah, the fucking Steelers are coming to Dublin. Jesus.
They're talking having an NFL game in fucking Australia.
I know. It's madness. It is
You
total
know
madness.
damn well it's going to be the Browns. Watch it.
Well,
Get up at 3:30 in the morning in Cleveland to watch the.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get the Rams out there because they're theoretically the closest team, I think. But
If the Browns played in Australia,
they may never make their way back. It's so far away. They'll probably get lost on the plane.
I'll do this for you. Did you lose in the land down under? Yeah.
Football plunder.
Football blunders. Yeah,
there you
football
go.
blunders. We could do that whole song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you see they're talking about bringing back the WNBA to Cleveland?
Well, I mean,
No, I didn't see that. Yeah.
What's his face said that the WNBA reapplied. They used to have the Rockers. They reapplied for the trademarks today for Cleveland Rockers.
Wow.
Well, how about that? And if you didn't hear, Tiger Woods is back to committing to play in the Genesis Invitational.
I think his mom just died, didn't she?
Yeah, 10 days ago she passed away. She was 80, and that's a sad thing.
Not related to Howard Twilley, though.
To have been married to Tiger's father all those years and still be a good person, give her a lot of credit. God only knows. But Tiger's still insisting that he can play golf, which is all well and good, I suppose. If he wants to do it, he can do it. But he's really not any good anymore. And the final thing,
let Charlie take the reins, Tiger.
There's one last thing. Oh, Hubie Brown, 91, prepares to broadcast his final NBA game.
90 fucking. So Clyde Frazier's got 10 more years to go. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to watch him.
Hubie Brown is going to be calling the game. What is it, the Milwaukee and Philadelphia game? And, on ABC, and he's going to be with Breen, Mr. Bang. Yeah. But he's 91 years old. But I didn't realize Hubie lost both his wife and his son this year.
Wow,
Oh.
that's grim.
Yeah, it really is. I really, and this is his final broadcast. And I just want to say something about this because it moves something in me, okay?
Uh-oh.
This whole bunch of shit is just dog shit. I can't get out there and do my thing, baby. And this 91-year-old guy stealing my thunder. There's something really wrong with this. And my bedroom is bigger than his great room.
You know who's back on TV tonight for the Clemson Duke game? Dickie V,
Not
baby.
Dickie
Tonight?
V's
Dickie
back?
V tonight. 6
Is he
o'clock.
back?
So there's going to be
6:30.
Dickie on one network and Hubie on the other. That's
Uh-huh.
awesome.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't
God.
know.
Yep. He
Oh,
just
God,
put it
baby.
on Twitter.
What game is he
just-
calling?
Clemson versus Duke. No, not tonight. Saturday night. 6:30.
Saturday. Oh, wow.
But
Saturday
he
night.
put
I have to wait until tomorrow until Hubie gets all of his accolades. It isn't even right.
diaper. He's a diaper dandy, baby.
Somebody better tell the Vitale family not to rearrange the furniture again.
Yeah, you don't want him tripping over something.
Yeah, get him on the air. I want to hear Dickie on the air.
Huh?
And I want to hear Hubie on the air last time too, because he was never my favorite analyst, and I kind of thought he maybe held on a little too long here. But give a man his due, and that's got to be one of the most painful things, not only to outlive your spouse, but to outlive your child
and outlive your fan base.
Well, it's a generation
anyway.
of broadcaster that's going away.
It's a bit cruel of me. Anyway.
All right. What can I say? I do appreciate you guys showing up.
I mean, do these guys hang around till their 80s and 90s just to get the health insurance off the networks? Is that what the deal is? Because they must have a lot of medical bills.
And the funny thing is,
they do it one day a week. Probably got nothing else better to do.
Hubie just stumbled his way onto television. It wasn't like a great career choice. It wasn't like Dick Vitale, who went from cheating at the University of Detroit to going to TV. They fired me and I can't get a job. It was like better off on TV,
Yeah.
But no, Hubie Brown just fell into it, man. And he's been... and then he came back in 2002 to be the coach of the year, at Memphis. I mean, this guy's had an incredible winding road career, and I hope he does well on the game.
Like us. Yeah.
But I can't watch it because I'm going to be watching the Cavaliers. So
against the Baltimore Bullets and Earl the Pearl Monroe and Wells Unsold. And
yep.
I think it's somebody else on that team.
Who on the old Bullets?
Yeah, the old Bullets.
Cheney.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a guard. And Elvin Hayes.
Elvin Hayes, yeah, of course.
Again, I'm showing my age.
The Baltimore Bullets, yeah. We remember more than Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
God, Tony, it's me, Thurston. That's I'm gonna do a show where I'm just gonna
stick your chin out, the
whole fucking program is just see how long people hang in there before they go, this guy's brain damaged, he's like a former president of the United States and half of the Senate. Oh my God. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching, and I hope that you gained something.
Cavs.
Go Cavs is right. Just get a road win, man.
Go Cavs.
Each road win is a good win, no matter who it's against. And Tony, thanks for being here. Moose, thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. I will be back again on Monday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Well,